Hey guys, today in this video I'm going to be giving you a full guide to solo Bedwars. Now, when you join a game, the first thing you need to do is to see what team you're on. In this case, I'm on grey. Now, you want to wait for 16 or 8 iron and buy either 64 or 32 blocks of your colored wool respectively. After this, you want to bridge to the island that looks closest to you. Now, on some maps, the island that's closest to you is going to be to either the left or right of you, but sometimes you're going to have to bridge forwards to the diamond gen and then out to the next base. In this case, grey rushes red, but normally on other maps, grey would rush pink. So here, I go to red, and what I do is that I build above him and drop on him. Now, when you drop on someone, you take full damage, which actually gives you a second of immunity, where you don't take any damage. And using this, it makes it really easy to start a combo or to one-hit them off the edge. Now, unfortunately, I see pink here, bridging to my base, but he just falls in the void. Now, in this, what you want to do is that once you've taken out your first rush, you want to be really careful of other people, and even whilst you're taking out your first rush, because sometimes players rush the wrong way. Like in this case, actually this map is a bit controversial, but in most maps it's pretty obvious what way your side rush is going to be. So once I've taken out grey here, after I've taken out red, now I can go for pink. Now, when you're taking out teams, it's very important that you get the high ground on them when fighting. As you can see, all I did there was take some full damage, drop on them, take some full damage, and then combo him. Now, I'm also a lot more stacked than this guy, which makes it really easy, because first of all, I got iron armor because of all the gold I've gotten for taking out red and going to my base as well. And I also got the 2 diamonds, which meant I had protection iron armor, and he had no protection leather, so it made it really easy to kill him. Now, so at this point in the game, I have to take a look at who's left and who seems good. So far I haven't seen anyone who has a lot of beds or has taken out teams really quickly, but I know that blue could be going for me, although a team like green or yellow on the other side of the map probably won't be going for me. Now, you can use the scoreboard and chat to see where other players are. Like, yellow bed was destroyed by green just then, which means that I know that green's at yellow and shouldn't be a threat. So now yellow's out of the game, and I know approximately where green is. So the only 2 players that I need to worry about in this situation will be white and blue. Now, I'm playing fairly riskily here, because there's a good chance that my bed could break at any moment. And if you're not confident in your abilities, I would recommend spending your time just getting more stacked. Now, green just died to blue, and I see white here. Now, great firewall, by the way. Anyway, so this white guy's running, and I noticed that he took all the emeralds in middle. That's another thing you gotta watch out for, because if a player has emeralds, they could either be really stacked and get diamond armor or a diamond sword, or they could have pearls and invis and easily sneak up on you. Now, I killed the white guy here and got 6 M's, which is huge for me. So with M's, you want to buy, well, it depends on the situation. If you're without a bed, a diamond sword and a pearl are really good, because a pearl can save you, and a diamond sword, well, the diamond sword goes away once you die, but if you don't have a bed, then if you die, you're out, so it doesn't really matter. You also want to buy jump and invis potions, and also bridge eggs. Bridge eggs are really good. I cannot seem to speak. Now, diamond armor is not the best, actually, because it doesn't actually, well, it's helpful, but it doesn't actually add that much, like, protection to you. It's much better to get something else. It's also really expensive. Now, Obsidian is an interesting one as well, because if Obsidian is really good if you've got a lot of players in the game who are sweaty. But in this case, if there's only one player in the game, whoa, what was that lag? Be careful of lag. Hypixel can do some interesting things to you with it. Now, if there's only one player in the game, I would do not buy Obsidian. Also, if you're buying Obsidian, you got to make sure you always have a minor fatigue trap. Now, what traps do is basically any player that enters your base will receive some sort of negative effect, such as mining fatigue, which slows down the breaking animation, or blindness, or if they're invis, something that reveals their invis. Now, the best trap to buy by far is mining fatigue, as it's the most effective by far, and a lot of times can be the difference between you losing your bed or not. But probably the best thing about traps is that it notifies you when someone's at your base, which can allow you to change your game plan. Like, you don't want to be mid-fight and have your bed lost, but if you have a trap, then normally you can prepare for that accordingly. Now, I see this blue guy. When you're without a bed, you got to be careful. Now, it's important that even though, I do not really know how good this blue guy is. I fought him once and I beat him, although I don't think I beat him by that much, and he could probably beat me. So you got to play very safe in a situation like this. If you're completely confident, like you fought them many times, then it's probably okay to play a bit more aggro. Like you don't want to go on for like 15 minutes if you don't have to. Now, in this game here, we're on the map Apollo, which you only actually need 12 iron to rush. So with the 12 iron, I buy 48 blocks. Now, with bed defenses, you usually either need one layer of wool or no bed defense. That really just depends on your first rush and the amount of blocks it takes to rush. But don't save up for answering. Unless your first rush is really sweaty, then I would not recommend doing so. Now, when you're taking out teams, there's two types of plays. You can either try to break their bed and then kill them, which is usually somewhat risky, but it can usually save you and also make you only have to kill them once. Or you could try to just kill them first and then break their bed. Now, when you're clutching a game, you've got to be as safe as possible. So try to kill them first and then break the bed. And if you can't, then just dip. But a lot of times, it's just better to break the bed first. Guarantee yourself that bed. Now I'm building up to this guy. He's playing a bit annoying. Unfortunately, I missed that hit there. Now, the smart thing to do would be to buy ladders and to build up to him, but I obviously forgot that. Now, unfortunately, this guy actually breaks my bed, but I kill him there again. It's a bit close there. Now, when you lose your bed, you always want to go and get emeralds or diamonds. It depends on the situation. But in a situation like this, emeralds are the way to go. Now, I made a whole other video about how to clutch your Bedwars games, which I'll leave a link in the description. So with the emeralds, you want to get geared up, but also you want to get things like invis potions as well. Now, when you're clutching, you got to see who's taken out teams in the game. So I noticed that gray just died to red. Now white and pink are fighting, which is the first rush combination there, and blue and green are fighting, which is another first rush combination. Knowing who fights who is very important in the game. So pink just dies here. Now my next big tip is for PvP. So in Bedwars PvP, you don't actually need to be like that good at PvP. Like I myself, I'm not that good at PvP, but it's all about how you utilize your surroundings. Like, there's not much skill in just building up and dropping on someone, but it's really effective. Now, another important thing is getting stacked up. You always want to get diamond upgrades. If you were like Prot 2 iron armor and an iron sword against someone with a stone sword and leather armor, you got like a 95% chance of winning. Even if they combo you, your only threat is the void. Like if you just stood in your base and you're much more stacked than the enemy, you're practically unkillable. So make sure that in clutches you're doing that. Another thing regarding clutching is to know when to ditch your bed. Now, ditching your bed can be crucial in Bed Wars, because if you wait too late to ditch your bed, then you're gonna be in a situation where you can't get stacked. But if you ditch your bed early, for instance, if I know that 2 teams are going to go for me, now the most likely time when you'll get 2v1 is if, let's say I'm yellow here. Now, let's say blue and green fight, and green wins and then goes for me, and then white and pink fight, and then pink wins, and then pink also goes for me. So in a situation like that, where I can see both teams bridging to me, at that point, that's exactly when you want to ditch. Unless both of them seem bad or you're really stacked, then that's what you should do. My last main tip is to balance efficiency and safety. Because, as I've said a few times, you don't want to take too much time to do something. Like, let's say I was clutching and I waited just to get stacks of iron to spawn golems until there's one player left in the game who has a bed. Chances are that, first of all, it's going to take an extremely long time. And second of all, those golems are going to run out. And that person's probably going to be more stacked than me after my golems have gone. Now, lastly, I'm just going to talk about some certain items which I think are underrated or overused. Now, the first one is magic milk. So what magic milk does is that it prevents you from taking in any traps, which is really important. So the best thing to pair it with is probably an invis potion, because an invis potion plus magic milk basically makes it pretty much impossible for a player to defend their bed from you. Now, another really underrated item is bridge eggs. Now, what's good about bridge eggs is, one, they're very fast and they're a lot. Like, pearls are 4 emeralds per, but a bridge egg is only 1 emerald. So it means you can get a bridge egg invis jump and for the same price as a pearl. Now, the problem with bridge eggs is that, well, they can't save you the way pearls can, but you could also use bridge eggs to combo other players. Now, the next thing I'd like to talk about are scummy items such as punch bows. Now, let's say Bedwars was a game made out of bots. They would be really good, but unfortunately, Bedwars is a game played by other players. So chances are, if you're punch bow spamming, it's likely that quite a few teams will gang up on you. Not always, and a lot of times you can beat it, but you have to be careful. The same with Obsidian, which is another thing that makes these items pretty controversial. Now, currently, it's just a 1v1 against me and this green guy with a bed, but I've got diamond armor and a diamond sword, because I've spent pretty much the whole game stacking up. I've also gotten a few beds in finals, but now I've basically, my only threat would be walking off or him randomly nuking me. So I see him over there, he just disconnects randomly, and I can easily just break his bed and win the game. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed and learned something. Please consider subscribing and liking the video. Anyway, thank you again. Bye bye.